Hey guys, welcome. It's Chris from In the Rough Crystals, and this is your November 2017 reading from Shadow to Light. If this is your first time joining and checking out this video, welcome. The focus here is connecting with not only just the shadow aspects of yourself, but also the light aspects of yourself, and being able to work within both realms and spectrums to understand what you're being taught, what you're working through, what you're transmuting, what you're healing from, and how you can bring that energy and that guidance into a positive and loving aspect both in your life and also in the world and the collective at this time. So this reading is for the month. Again, it is a general reading. Take what resonates with you and leave behind what does not. If you would like something that is more personal, you can always email me at intheroughcrystals@gmail.com for a personal reading. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle the cards here and see what comes up. And this month, I don't even remember what I used last month, but this month I'm using the Fountain Tarot, and I'm using also Messages from the Shadow. So let's see. So we're cultivating this space which is safe and protected. This energy is not only protected to my space, but also to your spaces and your homes as well. Calling forth our highest guides for healing and growth as it relates to November 2017. And we're going to pull some shadow cards here. Releasing past life, which I think doing past life work is really awesome right now because number one, we're at the end of November, or not November, I'm sorry, October. Veils are really thin this time. It's an awesome time to work with your ancestors. If your ancestors are still alive as it relates to the work that you're cultivating, the work that you're doing, or if you have communication on the other side of the veil with your ancestors, now would be a really time to really connect and heal. I feel like this energy and this healing is definitely as it relates to your ancestral lineage or your bloodline. This is like a clearing of patterns that have affected your bloodline or your family's genetic history. It's important, whatever it is for you that's surfacing within that space. I have one client that the family has a history of like mental health. There's a lot of suicides in that lineage. So she's working with her ancestors and healing that temple within herself so that she can cut those cords and free herself from that patterning, so that when she has kids, that she's not passing that patterning on. I feel like this is a lot about cycle breaking. It's time to break these cycles that keep our bloodlines, keep our lineages affected. Let's see what else comes up here for shadow. So look at what that means for you and your family lineage. Like, what comes up is there patterns of addiction, codependency, mental health. It could be anything. There's one woman, I was watching a video, and in her lineage, all of the women are afflicted with fertility issues, like, or they can't have kids or that sort of thing. So it's like being able to connect with your lineage, your ancestry, and just understanding the patterns that created that trait could be extremely healing, not only for what came before you, but also clears that energy for you and, you know, any future energies there. So another thing too, if you this is probably going to resonate with someone if you've been thinking about doing any type of past life regression work. This is a confirmation for you to go ahead and do that. It's going to be something that's very helpful and very beneficial for you. Akashic Records is coming up as well, working within the Akashic Records. And then we have releasing anger. All these are releasing, because they're in reverse. So this is something that's being is coming up because it's being released from our templates, like anger. So, you know, it could be anger associated within the templates of what we're dealing with in, you know, the past life energies. And when we're talking about past life doesn't have to be necessarily a different incarnation either. It could be last year. You know what I mean? It could be a past experience. So look at what is coming up in your life right now. If you feel like agitated and irritable with people, if you've been lashing out towards other people, like I had a experience like that last week where, you know, I kind of lashed out towards one of my exes, and I just was, you know, I was angry, but like I don't know, like it's just the emotion was there, and I just projected that energy to that person. And, you know, once I kind of unplugged and I ejected and I, you know, took some time to myself to really look at what was going on, and I'm like, this is not, you know, this is not about this other person. This person's just the trigger. This has triggered what in me? Like, what is creating this energy to where I projected this? Like, what is inside of myself? And, you know, what I realized is that I was repressing anger, and I was repressing guilt regarding the way that I treated that person when we were in a relationship, and that person moved on into, you know, another relationship. But I became angry because I realized I became angry because I'm not in a space in my life where I've been able to move on and have, you know, a relationship or a shared experience. So it's like that external event just triggered me, bringing up the fact that I felt angry and I felt guilty that I, you know, had done these things to this person, because now I kind of feel like, well, I'm alone and I don't have anybody and you do. So it surfaced those feelings so that I could face that within myself, and I could feel it, and I could not, you know, I could be in a space where I don't judge that within myself, and I love myself in those spaces, and I forgive myself, and I heal from it, and I release it so that I can move forward, and I can also cut that cord and release that person too. You know what I mean? Because that energy that I was projecting was affecting them too, you know? So, you know, that's just an example. Like, you know, apply that to your life where you need to. Like, what is coming up for you? Like, what's triggering you? Who's triggering you? But remember, it's not about the person. Like, if we take away the person and the circumstance and the situations and just look at it as like, just look at it like, that's the only way I can say it. Just look at it like a trigger and say, why is it that this is making me feel this way? And then, okay, I feel this way, whatever that emotion or whatever that experience is. What is behind that? What is underneath that within me? Because it really doesn't have to do with anybody else. Anything we experience in the outside world, person, place, circumstance, situation, has nothing to do with the outside world. It has to do with us. What's within us. And so, you know, I think a lot of that's coming up where we're starting to kind of gain some insight, and we're doing reflection work. So, you know, a lot of mirroring, you know, a lot of mirror work, a lot of mirroring has been coming up. And really take a look. I feel like it's like you need to take a look at yourself. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Yourself. So, you know, if it's helpful as an exercise, do mirror work for meditation. You know, place a mirror in your meditation room, and, you know, it might sound silly, but it's very effective and it's helpful. And say, like, what am I angry about? What is inside me that I'm holding on to that's making me angry? What do I need to heal as it relates to anger? And allow, like, whatever thoughts arise, or whatever feelings, or whatever mental pictures arise and come up, allow it. You know, it's like, feel the emotion. You might cry. It's okay. If you feel anger again, feel angry. Allow it to come up. But what you're going to do is not say, I feel sad because I was abandoned, and oh my gosh, like, now I must be this terrible person and I'm not good enough. And don't, that's your ego coming in. That's the thoughts coming in, and creating a bigger scope of problems that are not even true about yourself. But you need to say, I feel this way because, or I was angry because I feel like abandoned within myself. And just allow it to surface. And know that you are loved, and love yourself in that space. And that's it. It's like, you don't have to judge yourself about it. You don't have to put yourself down. You don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to do anything. You just have to recognize that you feel that way. And then you have to recognize is that whatever it is that you've been feeling is not who you are. And that's why you're being triggered, and that's why it comes up, because we're releasing things that are not in alignment with who we truly are. They're only the things that we've told ourselves about who we are. So we're going to do one more shadow. I need 2 cards come up. So we have physical body and ego. So again, releasing the ego, you know, releasing the mask, taking down the mask and letting go of, you know, who we're not, the things that we tell ourselves to protect ourselves. We tell ourselves these things to protect ourselves, so we really don't have to deal, and we really don't have to feel, because by us feeling and experiencing our feelings for what they are without judging ourselves, it, you know, it kills our thoughts, you know. All of those things that we've told ourselves about ourselves, that we've built, you know, we built a mask, we've built this personality energy around, which is not who we really are, now has to say, I'm not valid anymore. I don't have any substance. And the ego's worst fear is to not, you know, doesn't like to just, is to be invalid. So the ego will fight with you. And some of the ways that the ego will fight is to get angry and project that anger on other people, to point the blame, to avoid dealing with the fact that there's something deeper within inside the self that needs to be dealt with as it relates to said experiences. So I feel like, you know, I think this is really good, because past life, anger, and ego, they're all in reverse here. So this is, for me, this is releasing this. This is releasing this energy. Like, I think we're, like, I feel like the word that came through is revelation. Like, we're becoming aware of our experiences and things that we've done, things in our past life, things that have been affecting us on a generational level, that we've built these barriers and we've built these walls and we've built up this ego personality that's not who we are. And we're starting to realize, like, you know, this isn't who I am. Like, we're starting to realize that, like, you know, these facets of our personality are is part of the distortion. It's part of the fragmentation. And then we're projecting that out in the world, and we're creating all this distorted, fragmented shit, you know? Um, but I feel like this is a very healed process. I really feel a lot of energy within the solar plexus and the heart chakra, kind of like a clearing. Um, so being able to really step back into your personal power, um, just empowerment's coming through, believing in yourself, being confident, rebuilding, you know, this authenticity within yourself, and being able to clear out, you know, a low vibrational, dense energy like anger frees up space in your heart chakra, you know. So if you're someone that's been experiencing like a lot of chest pains, heart palpitations, that sort of thing, this may be a physical body came up. This might be a physical kind of like a red flag that this is energy you need to clear out. And if you're experiencing physical symptoms from it, it may be a deep pain pocket that needs to be worked through and released. I'm also getting here is, you know, number one, just taking better care of the physical body, because it is our vehicle and it's our vessel while we're here in this incarnation. I'm also getting like, as we're doing this release work, we're doing this healing, we're changing our vibration, we're changing our makeup, we're shifting, like we're going through a shift, and our physical body is changing. Um, our physical body is changing because our DNA is changing. So we have to adjust how we are taking care of our vehicles. So if that means, you know, starting to adopt an exercise program, or changing to eating high vibrational foods that are live foods, so that they nourish your cells, and, you know, you're able to be in a space of optimum functioning where you can hold more light and bring in more light codes into your body. Um, that is what you are doing here. So I'm going to pull a few cards here and see what other insight we get here. So you have the Nine of Wands and Justice in reverse. So I feel like, you know, the universe, the divine, is trying to bring us into alignment. We have to deal with these, you know, things that are coming up, because it's bringing us into alignment and, you know, into balance with ourselves. But I feel like it's kind of a struggle, because like the Nine of Wands in reverse to me get like, and I don't know if I use it in this video or the Crystal Conscious video, but I always think of like needing to level up or ascension, or, you know, personal or any type of growth, to like a mountain where, you know, you're on this platform here and you're going through whatever experiences that you need to go through on this level, and, you know, then when it's time for you to shift out of that and release whatever densities, or to level up, then we hit we hit this wall. And the wall to me is always like the crucible, because you have to go through the fire to shed that which you're not anymore, and then you go through that doorway and that gateway, and you level up. You make it, you go through that portal, you pass like that initiation, so you move up, and that next level might look completely different to you. You might look different. You might be a different person with different principles, with different experiences. Your appearance might look different. You might start a new job, like whatever that is. But we're always trying to, you know, climb up that mountain. And that's what the Nine of Wands reminds to me. Like, it's like the Nine of Wands is kind of like resisting that process, resisting that growth process, you know. I think we know that it's absolutely necessary for our growth, and we understand that it's for us to like really level up, but it's like, instead of resisting it, we need to fight our way to the top. We need to fight our way to the top. And like what's coming through is like the weighing of the heart. You know, the weighing of the heart's happening, and the scales are unbalanced because we're holding on to anger, and we need to figure out what is that anger that we're experiencing within ourselves. Like, what is that based from? You know, because we need to heal, we need to release that. So whatever it stems from, whether it's another incarnation, like I said, for some people it's going to be different. So it may be all the above. It might be an experience you had last year somewhere with a relationship with someone. It could be an actual different lifetime or a different timeline. It could be patterning that has affected your lineage and your ancestral bloodline. Like whatever that is, work within that frame to really allow this energy to be cleared, because I feel like when you can clear that dense vibration out of your heart. And I like to say that I look at all reverse cards. I don't always read in reverse, but I like to, when I do, I look at them like unlocked doors or closed doors. I think when we clear this energy out, this anger and this ego energy that's here,